This your boy HD. Everybody get up on the dance floor and go and go and go crazy and go crazy and go crazy and go crazy. Go 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 crazy. Go 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 crazy. Go 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 crazy. All the way from the old to LA. Go crazy like a dumb dumb. East side on board where I come from. Dance on the floor till you go numb. No fighting, no hating, no red rum. This is O City. All the way to the bay, hit the bass, feel me. Catch a case cause it's beating up your Chevy. Get you moving side to side, getting all sweaty. Make you work it out. Turn the volume up loud. This a draw crowd, make it all shout. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Hit play on the track and I'm ready. Like a quarterback, Tom Brady. Get you all in the frenzy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. The love us. We heard the buzz and turned the club up. They tear the rugs up soon as we turn the subs up. Everybody hands high like a drug bust. Yeah, I'm from the west, homie. Don't you see the dubs up? Baptism on the spot, fill the tubs up. I fraternize with the flocks, tell them fill the cups up. The show though, original, the type is proto. I go, crazy, yeah, loco, it's solo. The coach, and I represent the Ocho. Immersing together, put the devil in the choco. Either I leave him on the mat flat out, squeeze the telly back out, or when you see him tap out, he go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to L. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to L. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. All the way from the O to L. Go, go, go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. All the way from the O to L.
What's up, y'all? What's going on? What is going on? I mean, boy, that was good timing. We're starting to get like them KOCO folks where they do, the traffic, the weather at 5 and 5, we starting to get that thing down. I'm here for that. What's going on, good people? It is 8:04 and it is time for another Scoop show. And we are so glad you all have come on in here in this room and gonna chop it up with us about something that took the end of our holiday vacation. It had us in a chokehold, okay? A choke hold in real life. So I'm glad that you tuned in because we have got thoughts. And we're going to talk about it on this evening. What's up, Ebony? What's going on, sis? Yes, that is my jam. I've been missing our intro music over the holidays. So this is week 2. I might calm it down in a week or so, but I doubt it because this is my jam. Like I really
Yeah.
It is my jam. It lets me get ready for the good conversation. So yes, ma'am. What's up, O City? Y'all see what Miss Ebony did? She went on in the comments and dropped her city and state. And we want you to do the same. We want you to follow the leader on this evening. That is how we say our what's ups around here. It lets us know who is tuning in and where they are tuning in from. So go ahead and drop your city and state, rep your city in that comment section. And while you're down there, go ahead and hit that share button. That's to the left of that comment bar, and let your people know, your mama them, all your friends and fam know where you are going to get your convo to take you on into the late night hour. Okay, you're gonna get your nightcap with the scoop, and we want to invite them to come on over. All right, that's it. Tag them on in, sis. Tag them in. So go ahead and do that. Hit that share or tag them on into the chat and let them know that we are welcoming them in. Okay, they have been called to the group chat. All right. And while you do that, we all, even after you do that, you're going to get comfortable, going to get lost in the sauce of the conversation. And we love that. Okay. But we don't want to be no reason that you dropping the balls at the house. Okay. So if you got to get up and go, if you got stuff you got to do, the baby keep knocking on the door, something's in the oven, you got to do your thing. We understand. Okay. We get it. Which is why we have that good old replay available. Okay. You can come back and get the replay of the recap if you got to go be an adult. All right. So if you got to go do that, we understand. So go ahead and live your life and come back and holler at us on tomorrow or later on and get the rest of the show. You can do that by tapping in with us out here on all these social media channels. Okay. We are out here on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on SoundCloud, all of the things. Okay. So go ahead and screenshot this screen right here. All right. Throw this one into the group chat. Let the people know that you need to tap in and hit the bells and the whistles and the thumbs and all that on YouTube at The Scoop Show, on Facebook at Real Scoop Show, on Instagram at The Scoop Radio Show. And for those of you who cannot watch and you are listening out there on SoundCloud, hit us up on SoundCloud as well by searching The Scoop Show on SoundCloud. And we are also on Patreon. So that, yeah, we're also on Patreon. We've got multiple tiers available for you to join and subscribe to all of the good content coming in 2023. So check us out on Patreon as well. And when delete that image from your gallery. All right. And usually we have a jam-packed agenda of all kinds of good topics. We've got hot topics, we've got main topics, we've got, deep takes, all kinds of stuff that we have that come to us from all types of different ways. Okay. And all those different ways are because of you. All right. And we have coined this wonderful thing that you do for us by helping us create this wonderful show as Straight Out of the Inbox. Okay. So as you are scrolling on your lunch hour or your regular, work day, because we know that's what happens, as you're scrolling and as you get lost, your tail is right about to go down that rabbit hole. Say, oh, let me slide on into the inbox real quick. Let me let Win and Q know I'm on my way and come get me in a minute, but follow me. So hit us with the links, hit us with the tags on the post in the conversation so that we can share it with our people, our mamas and them, our friends and fam, and we can get talking about it. And if it really gets to going, we will add it to our agenda and we will talk about it here on the show with everybody. Okay. So your conversation could be, for the world, great. So be sure and hit us with those good links and let us know that you want to talk about that there, and we'll get it on here. Okay. So if ever you are scrolling, you're following us on our personal pages, because you're following us on your personal pages so you don't miss the pre-show conversation. But yeah, so whenever you see the hashtag or this wonderful image right here, Straight Out of the Inbox, you want to tap in. Okay. That is your official invite to come and let us know what you think about what we're talking about. Okay. So do that for us. Straight Out of the Inbox. That's how you get it. All right. Is that it?
That's it.
I think that's it. All right. Hey, bro.
What's going on, sis? How
you doing? I'm good.
Good. Good day so far?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Me and Sissy got away this weekend. We did a little turnaround to Dallas.
Okay.
Had some fun.
Okay.
We had some fun, but we just went to eat, y'all. We ain't did nothing but eat. Look, we got cute. We had plans of going still to eat, but out to eat, where it was cute and bougie, you get the little pinky up place. Had all the plans, scroll the place, I'm in the mirror, we're doing a little thing. You ready, girl? And she's like, and then I'm like, and we both Capricorns. So if
You
y'all
know,
know,
love that.
and about 15, I give it like 12 to 13 minutes time, actually. We had got cute, did our spin around. Oh, yes, girl, yes, yes. And then like boots off, sweats back on, Chucks, Air Force, like we were back out the door on the way to the boom shack. Okay. we needed seafood boils, catfish, wings, French fries. Oh my God. We literally got back, got in our comfy, like
Went to bed.
no t-shirts. This was a carryout place. So like we waited a doggone hour for the food.
Okay. Okay.
Still no complaints though. We'll do it again. Just we'll plan for it next time.
Just go early.
Yes, we got back home. Look, shorts, t-shirts, socks, cross leg on the floor, ripped them bags open. Boy, listen.
Feels it.
We love food. I love food. We had the best time, the best conversation. Had Ratchet and Respectable playing in the center.
And that's what you need.
Oh my God, it was everything we needed. Got up, had us some breakfast. Some good breakfast. They had a real catfish everywhere. The ladies looked at me when I asked, "Is this, ma'am, excuse me, I ain't trying to be disrespectful, but is this real catfish or is this that other?" No, ma'am. They look at me like, "Oh, baby, yeah, it's real. Give me that. Fry me hard, please." Yes.
Yeah.
So my foodie tummy was happy. My sissy tummy is happy. Like everything, my soul was satisfied in that one little 24-hour turnaround. Yes.
Hey, that's what you need.
Oh, it was fun. Yeah,
that's what you need.
Yep.
That's what's up. I'm glad to hear that. Mm-hmm. That's what you need. That'll last you. Like that'll keep you full for a month.
Oh yeah,
a couple months.
We're planning our next little go around. So my little foodie recommendations: the Boom Shack. Check it out, but plan for the wait. It's a carry out. Ain't no dine in. Get the catfish and Brothers Breakfast. It's a black owned breakfast spot that is amazing. The lady was so sweet. The waitress that took care of us, sis, was amazing. And we got there, go early. We went on a Sunday. You know, they got a good brunch crowd. We wasn't here for that. That was not what we went to eat. We wasn't going to socialize. So we were there at like 8:20. Okay. Got our food. It was like 4 people in the restaurant.
Okay.
But when we were checking out, there was a line forming outside the door.
Church crowd.
Early service had let out. Okay. It was time to eat. So, you know, just plan for that when you go. But it was definitely where I want you to I highly recommend. Had catfish and grits. I don't eat catfish and grits for breakfast, but baby, hey, I did with my hash with my fried potatoes. Oh my God,
I almost spoke in tongues. So
and the coffee was good.
My mouth started watering.
Yes. Can y'all tell I like to eat? Feed me, see more, okay? Yes. But
Nothing wrong with it.
Had a good time. So
good. I'm glad to hear that. Whew. Yeah. Glad to hear that. You ready? Now that you got my mouth watering.
Sorry. I was gonna say we got the boiler moved there, but like, who wants to talk about a broiler?
I'm thinking about catfish and grits now. We did.
It
Yeah,
was good though. Go see the people. Go see the people.
Look, I'm looking at plane tickets. How much I can get out of there for some catfish and grits from Holland, Michigan, like that.
Take me back. Look, take me back.
Oh, let's talk about the best man.
Yeah, let's get on this.
Come on, because you about to got me looking for plane tickets. Southwest got a sale or something.
Just stop through here first. Take me with you. Listen, I bet you it's cheaper to get here. We'll drive. Like we'll make it.
Or something. Figure it out.
There. Yes. You get here, I got the gas there. How about that? Oh, funny.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into this. So, over the break, Best Man final chapter. Came out 8 episodes. 8 episodes. Oh, Lord,
I believe it was 8. Yeah,
8 episodes on Peacock, which in itself is interesting that they put it on
it
Peacock.
was interesting. I thought that too.
And yeah, so we're gonna talk about that tonight. So y'all make sure drop your comments. We gonna kind of work through the different thoughts or kind of topics
The layers of these relationships.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
we're gonna work with that. We're gonna start. So yeah, so talk overall for you. Yeah, what's your thoughts on the whole overall series? Let's start there.
So I was very excited for this series. No, let me be completely honest. So at first I was skeptical because I was like, why? What are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like it's been a while. It took a while between each of the previous installments.
Yeah.
Our audience is pretty much of the same age, so we're pretty familiar with The Best Man. But for those who may not know, this series has been going on since I believe, what was it, like 04? Something around like, so it was early 2000s, I believe it was, when we first were introduced to the Best Man crew. Okay. It came out around the time where The Wood and all of those movies.
1999.
99. Okay, see, well, late 90s, early 2000s. All right.
Woo.
Yeah, and this was on the wave of some really good Black cinema. So this is when we were introduced to some of not introduced to, but this is where a lot of these actors really kind of got their trajectory more after these movies got going. So there's a lot invested in our generation in this group of characters and their storylines. So I really in the last installment ended beautifully. It was enough. We had our closure. We thought, okay, we can see where this is going. All right, nice. So when I heard this was coming, I was like, okay, what are we doing here? But as the trailers started to come and the buzz was around it, I got a little more interested. So when after like 5-6 minutes of episode 1, locked in. I binged the entire series in one day. Like I did laundry and piddled around the side of my bed and looked busy and then didn't even try to look busy after a while. Like I was just watching the rest of the show. Mm-hmm. So I thoroughly enjoyed it for the entertainment, but throughout it, like I literally should have had me a notebook and wanted to take notes for all of the nuances and growth and little twisty things that, if you aren't looking for them or really tuned into that kind of stuff, like people like us that talk about these things and love relationship types of conversations. Oh my God, I was watching, I was like, oh no, they didn't even catch that. Like they're not gonna say nothing about that. Like it was, I'm watching it enough, so it was everything for what I enjoy from a smart romantic comedy with dramatic elements. You know what I mean? Like it was very good.
I thought it was a very interesting move to make this a series versus a movie, because the first two were movies.
Yes.
So for this one to be a series of 8 episodes, I thought, now if I remember correctly, they were all about 45 minutes long. If my memory,
about that. Yeah, right about that.
So I'm like, I wonder what I wondered initially what went into doing the series versus doing another movie, and I wondered when I saw how long it was. I wonder if this will do justice to all of the nuances of the story. Was that the reason why? Like they wanted to tell all of the stories, all of the individual couples and people's stories well,
right?
And yeah, so I just wondered, or was it just simply like a money thing? Like we can make more money doing it as a series versus a movie. So yeah, I was very initially like, no,
right? Because they start playing in our faces with these remakes. Everything doesn't need to be done again or revisited. Even we don't sometimes just leave it alone and let it be great.
I mean, because yeah, I think, but I think the difference is like, because at first I was like, okay, well, we just did the Fresh Prince thing, maybe, but I'm like, but that was kind of
it's an arm of. It's
yeah,
not it's
not
not a sequel to. It's not a
exactly,
yeah. Mhm.
exactly. So I was like, because they are gonna try to do that, but I'll be honest with, and then I thought, you know what, I bet you, like 4 or 5 will just be really whack, and it's wasting my time now. But
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say that there was very many things in here that I was like, hey, y'all could have left that out.
Mhm.
I think I walked away thinking y'all could have added this more.
I wanted more. If anything, this could have easily been a 15 episode series.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah.
So I thought overall, like I walked into it with questions and just is this gonna work out? Is this
yeah.
yeah, like again, because it's a lot. It's definitely a lot to these
The
stories.
movies were a lot. It was a lot of moving
Right.
parts even to the movies. So
Right.
yeah.
But in the movies, we didn't get to deal with a lot of like nuance.
They literally broke it down
to
for us.
each couple type thing and into persons, and so where they did that here, and so I thought that was good. And I also thought, since we're just doing overall overview thing,
Mhm.
I thought they did a really good job of showing more versatility to the actors and actresses in this game.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah. I felt like, we had an idea of who everybody was, and this kind of threw that off a little bit. Like, okay, like I think for I want to say like alter ego, but there was like the other sides of them we got to see that we didn't get to see in the movie. So I think having that
I think I saw what I wanted from some of them also. What we wanted from them. And we'll talk about that more. But I think the growth element, yes, the depth that they gave them and the overall journey. And I think that also has something to do to your point of why they may have chosen to do a series. If they're going to make this the end, if this is going to finish all of the stories, we want to give each of them the time that they deserve, which I push back as they kind of skimped us with the 8 episodes, if that was the reason for doing it. So it's one of those like, maybe Peacock I think they didn't think it was going to be as good as it was. And that's why they pitched Peacock 8 series.
Yeah.
Put a bow on it and let's go. You know what I mean? Let's see. But that's just my thoughts.
I walked away thinking, is this really the end?
Yes. I wouldn't be mad, but is it? And Morris Chestnut was on when he was on Tam the other day on Tamron Hall. She asked the same thing, and he was like, "They're saying it is, but I would definitely come back if offered." He was like, "I mean, that's what they're saying, but I would absolutely come back if we were brought back. I'd come back and do it again. I love the character." So I was like, okay. It wasn't a definite. No, this is it, y'all. We're done. Because you know how we got after a while we got the end for Friday. Hey, y'all, like don't ask this no more. Like we old as hair. Everybody got gray hair now. Like let's not be this.
They kind of aged out of the Friday thing, but yeah.
But we wore it to damn death. Like
we did. We
just
did.
Here in the last 6 or so years, we decided to stop asking for another Friday.
Yeah, that's on that one. But yeah, we heard somebody ask the same question. But yeah.
Hey sis.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Any other overview thoughts?
Now let's go and get into it.
All right. Okay. Well, we're gonna start friendship amongst the ladies. Friendship amongst the ladies is the first one. So,
what is this profile picture? Oh my God. I'm gonna have to tap here. I'm gonna have to zoom in on that, sis. I don't know what. Sorry, bro, but I was like, wait, what?
When I saw it the other day, I was like, I said, "Oh, it's a new year. This is."
Oh my goodness! Carry on, ladies.
I'll let you go first. Ladies first. What were your thoughts?
So, I have loved what they have done with these relationships throughout the entire franchise. Completely okay, got it. Completely. I liked how we saw the original friendships and how they understood one another and still leaned on each other, how they grew, how they brought Robin in, but still the show kept that distance that ended up being necessary for what we saw here, where there was never she wasn't disrespected. She was brought in, but never really a part of the fold in the same way by the core crew. Shelby came through in the clutch for our girl in the series, and that surprised me. Shelby surprised me. The layers of Shelby surprised me. Who knew Shelby was smart like she was, and had feelings like she does, and like gave some dams. You know what I mean? Like
a lot of
a lot, and like, so I loved how they came through for each other. Candace came out of retirement to get Shelby together for her striptease. You know what I mean, sis? Yeah. I need you. What do you need? You want a spot? Yeah. Got you.
And at the bachelor party.
At the bachelor party, okay, came together for your girl, okay, and was standing looking awkward, like, get it, but like she was, I got you, but like I'm gonna stand over here until we figure out how this is gonna work. So, that whole scene was like hilarious, but everything at the same time. Kel says they seem to let the friendships grow organically and get strained in the same. Yes. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. Yes, they did. Which happens, especially with such a blended group. Like, so much of their friendship relied on the men's friendships, and how to play that, where we let the men be the men, but then we still have to show up for each other and for our men, and like still be our, like, there's a weird dynamic that it's a delicate dynamic that they've had to learn to play over the time of their relationship, and they lost someone. So that girl group has taken a different kind of hit than the fellas, even, because they had a different type of relationship. That was their little sister. We protect Mia. She's the sweet one. She's the, all of that. But then this was their sister. You know what I mean? And when you look at Robin's character, that was her bitch. You know what I mean? Like, that was not Robin, Jordan. When you look at Jordan's character, like, that's those babies' godmama. You know what I mean? So like, that affected everything for them. But it was beautiful to watch their friendship. What did you think about the lady?
I thought that so my initial thought about their relationship was, I thought, like, okay, is this gonna get catty? And like, I thought, is this going to get catty? How are they going to get along? Would they continue? Because previously there always seemed to be this passive aggressive thing happening, especially like with Jordan and Shelby, or and then obviously the relationship between Candace and Shelby, and like, would they be like catty and throwing a lot of jabs at each other, and it seemed like they kind of like grew up. And even though you can tell they were obviously still, some of that was there, because they would make the comments about Jordan, they make the comment, but when it came time to handle business, or when it came time, like you talked about with, Shelby needing Candace, or, things like that, like they were on it when it came time for them to even defend Robin, thank you. Robin, like Shelby stepped
that
up.
Hotel scene?
Like, just stepped up and stepped in and did what she had to say. Like, listen. And so that, I thought, was I was pleasantly pleased with that.
What stood out to me when we're talking about specifically Shelby and all of this, when she told Jordan, like, after the party, and she said, hey, I think she likes being married, and I like her. So whatever happened, I need you to take that ish to the grave. That was her saying, look, I'm loyal. I rock with you. You my girl. I'm not finna be judgy and all that, whatever. But she's here now. I rock with her too a little bit. You know what I mean? I like this chick, and she ain't done nothing to us. Can you, like, she's also been that outside looking in type of person. She wasn't always accepted, as really a part of the
Right.
You know.
Right.
So her saying that to Jordan, who is like one of the HBICs of the group, and
Mhm.
who, you know, you don't really say, hey, get it
And
together.
and given the fact of what she like
Just did.
what she had just did for you. So I mean, I thought that said a lot to me about, you know, the strength of their relationship, that you could check somebody like that. I think we should, you know, in just regular relationship, and not regular, but real, you know, not a TV relationship. That's something
Right.
that we should be able to do, and often we're looking for, like, that level of accountability where somebody would say, look, you need to keep that to yourself. Like,
because this could mess up everything. Like,
yeah,
we didn't had enough of y'all in this group. Like, we sick of y'all. You know what I mean? In a way, like, I think all of them were kind of over it. You know what I mean? And I think that we kind of got
for the
this.
ladies. I think the ladies maybe. I don't think the guys really were over it. I think the guys are just like, this is what it is.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think the guys were like, well,
I think they grew very sick of Harper's shit this series. They called him out as far as like himself and him, and like, because Jordan, because he ain't got Jordan, is why he keeps doing all this tap dancing and fooling around and messing with everything else. Him and Jordan was part of him and old girl, but then like him and Jordan fooling around and doing all that was like the third extra layer of BS to the first go round. And then here we are with this lurking sexual tension, and now you know, like, I think. But
I don't know if the guy. I think that
the ladies were definitely over it.
The ladies, I would say the ladies.
Right.
I think the guys were like, "Hey, this is just a thing," and I think that I would say I think Merch was tired of it. Like I think he probably was, but the other ones, I don't really think Lance and Terrence Howard's, I can't remember his name, but Terrence Howard's character, Quentin, thank you. I don't think they care. I think they just like
Merch was
what it is. All right.
What's over it all?
I think Merch was super Merch. So,
yes.
yeah.
Baby, he went through it in them 8 episodes.
Yeah, my man went through it.
Yeah, he did.
So I think that and even kind of I won't even say evolution, but kind of the beginning of, I think we started seeing like an evolution of Jordan. Like we started seeing this.
For sure.
This, you know, I think if there was a part that I don't think we got deep in, that might be one of them. Like we didn't get to see a lot of this transformation of Jordan from, you know, powerful executive who wants to like, we started seeing that and then it was over. So I wouldn't think that would have been one of the storylines that would have been interesting to see, even to wrap up, like, you know, because in my mind, I thought, does this end with them together? But it would be interesting if they didn't. But what it would have been really interesting is after she makes this evolution, she gets somebody else and realizes, and then now he's left with this even deeper hurt that he's.
I wanted the ashwagandha homie, whoever the homie
from the resort. Yeah. Like I wondered, like, we're gonna run back into him and
New York.
Like he just disappeared.
And then we got weird face dude, hamster face homie. Like, who is he? Why do they keep trying to make him attractive? What else was he in? He was in something else that they tried to make him a leading Power. He was in he was Tasha's side dude on Power that got. Stop trying to make this man happen. Stop trying, like he's like Fetch. Stop trying to make this dude happen. He's not gonna do it for us, okay? Like he was never gonna be enough for Jordan. Boo!
I felt the same way about dude and I can't. Oh my god, the dude who was feeding the food and I'm like.
Feeding her food.
Feeding Robin food. Just feeding her.
No,
I was like,
he was cute. No,
I'm not saying he's attractive. I'm not talking. I'm saying, but I thought, like, where is he coming from? I
understood
I understood but I'm saying, but like the disappearance and the like, again, like I didn't. It threw me. Yeah. That rushed that part and it threw me off. Like there was no conclusion. Like, what happened?
Yeah,
You get the restaurant, so where you go? What?
Yeah, I needed him to like show up with the Serengeti sunset behind him, coming across the guy, you know, the Ghanaian thing, and or give us the ending picture. The baby comes across the thing for him getting his award, and like she hangs up with him and like kisses homie. Yeah, I feel you. I would have loved that kind of closure. So and I needed Jordan to get with the shaman homie because he was sexy. He was sexy. They was both sexy, both of them. But like at least we saw him more than we saw Homeboy. Like he needed to come back about episode 6.
So he can come back.
Like, yeah, he can come back. Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah, the scenes and arguments so wrong, glorious, and how it showed out. Yeah, all the relationships. Yes. Yeah, it was. I'm trying to think what other when it comes to the ladies. I think I also, when it came to the relationship with the ladies, I appreciated kind of the issues that they dealt with. Like I thought as they got into, health issues and we got some health, we got some fertility, we got some mental health, we got some, I think we got into watching them have to navigate that in one way or another, whether it's through, Quentin and Shelby having to deal with that, whether it's Jordan and pregnancy. Like it was good to see, for them to have to see them have to navigate through that. And just speak to that, because I think previously in previous ones, those types of issues were not really dealt with, except for obviously like the death of Mia. So it wasn't like everybody had something. So it gave more of that real life feel to what life is really like, and how it's necessary to have people in your life who you can have those kind of conversations with. So then we had like Candace having to deal with the sexual assault. You got all of them had something.
Everyone's stories were so like any of those could have had any of those families could have had a spinoff of their own that could have had more and more and more story to tell based on just the way they grew them up in this. And to your point about what you said about Jordan and how we kind of missed the fast track part of it, I think we saw her there, like the time between the last movie and now, the way that she presented in those first few scenes before we noticed her health and her really not being happy with the hustle and bustle and her start to withdraw from her goal life, because she walks in, she's the baddest, she's the rich auntie, she's laid, she's on the phone handling the business, like she's doing all of the chips have fallen perfectly into place. She's HB. I got the assistant, who's like, yes man, what else can I do, like wants all of it. And then we slowly, after that trip and she reconnecting with her people, and they see her and she sees them, like I think that's when we started to get to the real evolution of her that we want to see more of. But I think that was kind of where they gave us as family the event, like y'all know what happened, like she did what she said she was gonna do, and this is where we are now. And
I felt like, but I think like there was a difference. Like I think initially it was more of a have to, like when they were at the resort, like she had when they were doing the thing on the beach, and like she was given that then, but then some of it was like a health thing, like she had to do it. And I think through having to do it, then we started seeing something, as opposed to, towards the end, it was almost as if like she's managing this well, or better, not well,
now
but
the
better.
Choice she's making.
And
before
now,
she was now she's choosing it because she sees. Yeah, I can see that. I can agree with that. Yeah.
Almost like, okay, I'm here, and this isn't what I wanted. This is still. I thought it was going to be something different in this.
And ain't giving what it's supposed to give. It ain't giving.
Which I think, I think if any of we experience that, like a lot of us experience that as we climb, we think it's gonna be, and not that it's bad, but it's like I thought this this was gonna look different. So that's just the reality. So so I thought that was good. Let's talk about men, friendship.
Yeah, let's get into these fellas.
So yeah, the fellas. Yeah, I was the friendship aspect. I thought was, to be honest, I actually felt through most of it that the relationships were strained. As you mentioned earlier, through the whole thing, clearly you can tell they were not feeling Harper. Like it was like they were, everybody just was like, listen, bro, we've had enough.
Mm-hmm. They were tolerating the shenanigans.
Yeah. And I think the overall like unawareness of what was happening is what was strange to me. It was like, bro, you don't even recognize like they not feeling you.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are really not feeling you at all. And I don't think I think like just watching them, he just had no clue.
Yeah.
He had no clue. But at the same time, like there is this idea of he thought he was being a good friend when for the most part you're the selfish friend.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was intriguing. I thought it was good to watch everybody at some point pretty much call them out.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought even still to watch him try to navigate what this means.
Yes.
As I was watching, I'll say this as I forgot, somebody put up a post and asked who's the person you most identified with in the movie. And was that Jasmine? Maybe it was Jasmine or something. But
it feels like a Jasmine post, yes.
I had to be honest. Like when I watched that movie,
mm-hmm.
I felt like Harper.
Yeah.
I was like, this don't feel I was like, oh my God, like that's weird because for all intents and purposes, I think he thought he was the one keeping them together. Like he was the one and the reality is like, no, sir, they are tolerating you. They sick of you. And they're keeping
Quentin is honestly the glue of that friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Quentin is the silent glue of that entire friend group.
Mm-hmm.
He has been the first movie. He has been the glue of that friendship.
Yep. And he was the one that reached out. He was the one that was like, hey, you need to holler at him. You need to like, So I definitely saw that, which again, I think that we would have missed because the only, early, if only thing you paid attention to were, the silly things that he that he did, that you would think that you didn't recognize that there was really some depth, especially when it comes to this relationship that he had already had. Now later on, obviously, we saw some depth in his marriage, but like in his friend group, there was definitely some depth and some commitment to keep that group together. So, yeah, it was good. I mean,
up until this series and meeting his dad, and then of course, like you said, seeing him with Shelby. His friends, and when they really got into, he would let all the mess happen until it got real. And that was the most serious you would see him in any installment of The Best Man. He would be the one that would tell you your truth. All right, man, I understand that. Go on. You need to say that to that man. You know what I mean? Go on and say that to that man. You know what I mean? And he's consistently been the one that has grown all of them up, so to speak. And then it was so funny when they called him out low-key on his fake growth when they first met him. That was so funny. But they was like, yeah, it looked good. You. But they all look at him like, even the women couldn't get with it. Like, because he was the epitome of what, a lot of the people think that women would want now. He's saging and, his temple is clear and, he's speaking about his queen and, I love her. He's doing all that and all the girls are like, who is this nigga? Like,
where's Quentin? What did you do to Quentin?
This is not my boy. Like, who is this dude? Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. I thought, the other thing it made me think about was how much space do we give our friends? Like, so often what happens when we're in like friend relationships and there's more than two of us, that dominant personalities tend to take over,
Mhm.
and like we saw that's what normally happened. And they would normally like make fun of Merch. They would normally like minimize him. And it made me wonder, as I watched him, it made me think about, do we forget about those who we are? Do we almost like, I don't know what to use the word abuse, but do we like,
No, that's a decent word for the situation. It was abuse. It's
yeah,
not
like
abuse for the person that you care about. Yeah.
the person who's more quiet, the person who doesn't, who's not, again, like if you got a dominant alpha male football player, somebody who presents as that as a successful author, you've got somebody who's got money with the, and
Ladies' man.
yeah, the ladies' man, and then you have Merch, who's, though he's a lawyer, is not. That's what I mean, and even in this, like he's got a school, like you started a whole successful
Merch
school.
is an amazing man. Like when if Merch on paper, like, and even in real life, until he is intimidated by the alpha, Merch is an amazing man, which is why he and Candace's relationship was so beautiful to me. Even in conflict, the two of them, I was watching them like, that's what I'm talking about. Like I was legit rooting for them, like how she handled him, how he handled her, how they took care of each other. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but like that, to your point, has to feel some type of way for him, knowing that he checks all the boxes, but my bros don't see it. This is a consistent running joke with me. And after now, I've done all of this, bagged the stripper, like that's my wife. You know what I mean? Like, get baby, she gave me babies. We got this house, we got schools. Like he had every right to be standing on tables with them, you know what I mean? And just as dominant as the rest of them. But because he was not built that way. And I think even after he found himself, he still was himself, but he was more comfortable pulling up a little bit different at the end. And that was so cool because he didn't just transform into the super, I'm Merch now, I'm big Merch. Like that was not, and that would have been so like, really, bro? Like,
yeah, it was good for him to see that he's still battling with, how do I let this side of me out?
Yes, and I needed this. I needed them to see this, and I needed me to see this. Like him doing that for himself was so big for him, and then having all of them there to see it, even though it was some randomness. I thought that was funny too. How like nobody really addressed, like they knew that homie was doing MMA fighting, and like they all just showed up in like the whole transformation of like, oh, okay, it was beautiful because like that's really how you probably do it. But like after, on the way to the car, like, bro, like how you out here? Really?
Like nobody addressed like that. We knew that this, like, how you doing this? What's going on? Like,
yeah. There needed to be some follow up.
You've been going to all of this gym time and ain't said nothing to nobody.
Yeah, because when he pulled up on the babies after the dance thing, all beat up and crazy, I'm surprised the teacher didn't have CPS meet them at the house. Like that did not look like them babies should have went with him. Like he was acting real sus.
He was acting suspect.
He was acting real sus. And I would have been, if I was one of them babies, I would have been texting mine in the back, Ma.
Look at your husband. Look at his eyes when we get home.
Yes, wherever he was at, he ain't where he said he was. Like wherever, like, ask dad more questions.
Yeah, like, but they seem like, with them, I know we'll get to the kids, but they didn't seem that they were just, they were. Anyway, we'll get to them in a minute. Yeah. The other thing I was gonna say about the guys' friendship is, again, I think that it was very much, there was a lot of times we talk about wanting to see men be accountable to each other, and I think we got a good amount of that in this, especially towards the end. I think that in terms of one of the things that we could have seen more of it, obviously, but I think that it was good to see them have conversations, but still when they agree with each other, like in the scene where Shelby is talking to to Harper and Quentin's agreeing with like it was good that they were still able to be honest with so I thought it was really a really good
because that addressed something that they hadn't addressed in the series too, like that agreement between Quentin and Harper in that moment, because he was the only other person really in that room that agreed with Harper, but that was because she had Shelby, who like, oh, you want to take his side? Like of all people you want to hop up for, now it's him. Oh, okay, but you did the same thing, like you've kept me from my child too, so it hit different for him. And then watching, completely agree about that. I was concerned that they had let Lance get so far out there. Yeah. It seems like Jordan was the only one who was really engaged with them, but not so much with Lance. It was more so for the kids because he wasn't. You know what I mean? So that was concerning to me, knowing how much he loved Mia. It was interesting that they had.
That didn't surprise me.
Okay.
In the normal context of like male relationships, it didn't surprise me because a lot of times the dominant personality in those relationships, we don't do that to them. We don't, first of all, we don't check them. We kind of get like close enough to, especially when we don't think we can physically.
Yeah. No, I didn't mean like check him, but like check on him.
Well, no, I'm saying like we get close enough to where it's like I can see you, but I don't want to get close enough to where where if my checking on you causes, whether it's an emotional reaction or whether it's a very harsh physical reaction, men typically don't get close like that. Like there's almost like another person who has to say, I'm not afraid of you. Okay. And so I'm going to invade this space. That, like
what they did low key at the end, but without the aggression. Like what they did for Harper, just showing up and I'm going to be here.
Harper. But the difference is, so what made that different was Harper's not Lance, so there's no physical
that's what I meant. Minus the physical difference in them, like the energy in which they showed up would have been similar. But yes. You're right. The difference is size.
And so well, not just the size, but I mean just the overall, like even his position in the group. Like he is the alpha in the group, and typically with men, if there's an alpha male, that alpha male does not typically get challenged by other men.
Okay,
it has to either be another alpha male, or like we saw, it's usually the woman who comes and checks him and knocks him down, and then it's like, okay, now you're in a vulnerable enough position where I can talk to you.
Gotcha.
But that's very, very, I was like, that's very normal in male relationships where we don't, like, we ain't challenging, a lot of times we don't, and that's why you'll see a lot of, to be honest, why you'll see a lot of famous people fall, because we think we can't challenge them.
True. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Because nobody's on their team to tell them, listen, you tripping, you need to go sit your.
You always assume you always assume that the relationship between men is so comfortable and relaxed and bro that there's not always a hierarchy, so to speak, within those core group, but that makes a lot of
hierarchy
sense. Yeah,
there's definitely a hierarchy, absolutely. So I thought that was unique. But again, like you said, so with Harper, to see them rally like they did, was obviously was good, and that's something that even if he is the Lance that men need to do more of with each other. Yeah. Like we need to.
It was so cool. The silence of it all, the way that it was, the cinematography of the timing of that scene, the lighting of the scene, the sounds, hearing the ice hit the glass, and the bones on the shuffling of, what was it, cards they were doing? When the cards they were playing or something, like, was it bones or cards? I think it was cards.
parts.
Yeah, like the
It was
shuffling
great.
of the car,
Yeah,
like all of
from,
it was. Oh, it was time. Like I got goosebumps. It was that scene in the hotel scene, I think, were some of the most. I held my breath on the hotel scene. Like I did not breathe, I think, until I was like, that's how I was watching the hotel scene. But that end when I was like, yup. Like with every different addition to that, I was like, there you go. Yep. Show up. I was watching like, yes, because that is essentially what we talk about. Like when you mentioned accountability earlier, like that is, it's not always calling your boy out. It ain't always,
Right.
you wrong, bro. That ain't how we
Right.
like that's not really it. It's when when women say we'd love to see more Black men show up for each other, stand up to and for each other. That's low key what we mean. High key what we mean. Be there to call you on your ish and say, yeah, man, that ain't really it. But when you are down or when you on your way, even because they tried to catch him, they tried to stop him before the fall. But he was insistent. Okay, so they were there too. You know what I mean? They showed up. They gave him his time. They let him do his thing, and then they showed up with what he needed to get him back to himself. And that was
yeah. It's interesting. You mentioned earlier about wait, hold on, let me make sure we ain't gonna talk about this later before I okay, let me say it. So it was interesting how you were talking about earlier about you thought that Harper was wanted to be with Jordan and was kind of chasing after wanting to be with Jordan. Interesting enough, when I watched it, I didn't see that. I saw not that he didn't want to be with her, or that because that definitely energy was out there, but it felt like he was like, as I was watching it, I kept saying like, okay, what is he trying to prove? Who is he trying to prove something to? Especially as he talked about like wanting to be a different writer, and and everybody like, I mean, what's the problem? You got money, you doing good in this where you are. Why? And I thought this man is really trying to find himself. Like he's trying to, and I say by himself, he's trying to find how he can be important, how he can be seen as not somebody who's got money, but somebody who's important for something beyond like he thought just writing these other novels was trivial, but like something that's good, something that I'm gonna feel good about. Like it's not good enough because I haven't made Oprah and I haven't made like he was trying to find that level of who he was. And so I don't know if that had anything to do with Jordan. I don't know or if it was more so just I'm trying to get to a place where I feel like I'm enough.
I think yes, that is absolutely the personality that he has. He was chasing an outside level of stature. He needed to be seen amongst the greats by doing a certain type of work. He didn't want to be considered this kind. Like he needs to be with the greats, which is okay, fine for a professional space. But I think the thing that he was most drawn to with Jordan, or that I think keeps them connected more so than this energy that they have, Jordan doesn't need an explanation for his drive.
Right. Absolutely. That's right. Absolutely.
Jordan also doesn't care so much about his goals and all of that other outside stuff that she's going to allow him to lose himself. So Jordan is like an anchor to the things that he sees and loves about like Harper the man. And she also appreciates and congratulates and cheers on Harper the man for everybody else, and can still find the goodness of him, like the stuff that like she really digs in him and likes him like as a man, but she challenges him in the way that doesn't emasculate him, but makes him think. Like she does that with all the men in this. Like she is the core woman of the crew, but like she can check them in a way that I see you. And no, like no, absolutely not. Like, and in a way that she does it is so spot on, but because it's with love. You could tell she loves
Yes.
them all. And I loved
Yep.
how at the end she told Harper, I can't be I can't do that for you. Because I
It
think
is.
she realized how that was looping her also. Neither of them were having any kind of growth
Outside of work stuff.
still, yeah, that, you know, and they both wanted and needed more. She knows that
Yep.
he needs more, even though he doesn't really see it, and she knows that she wants more. Like, she knows that for sure, and she ain't gonna be
I
around
think,
while he still figures that out. I think
yeah, I think he knows
in that
that,
way. I
that
mean,
she needs more. I think he knows that she needs more. I just think that he's arrogant enough to believe that he's the only person who can really give it to her. Yeah.
which is why she said no. I'm saying, well, I think that, yeah, he knows that she needs more. She knows that she needs more. She also
Yes.
knows that he needs more, and he
Yes.
ain't ready
Absolutely.
for it yet. That's what I meant by
Absolutely.
that. Like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're right. He's absolutely would love to be. He thinks he's it for her, and she knows, because she knows what she wants. She knows that he ain't it. He just thinks he is, but he's always thought he was, which is why homegirl ended up in Ghana. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he always thought he was enough. He always thought no one understood what he was doing. Like, you just can't, you don't understand, you don't get it. How do you not see I'm doing all of these things? He had a very Will Smith way about him when it came to his relationship, specifically with Robin. I think he was just used to the friends. They've just always been the friends. Y'all gonna be around. Y'all used to my shenanigans. It is what it is. Robin, he Will Smith that marriage, and then tried to play like, what happened? Oh no, why you so happy? I was like, boy, I was so frustrated with that. And his just over on the counselor's office at the overall dumbfoundedness of it all. I said,
I think he made
excuse me.
Okay, let's go ahead and transition into the relationship.
Yeah.
I think in the context of their relationship, him and Robin, he made the mistake that a lot of us make, which is thinking that being responsible in a relationship is the same as being a good partner. So I think he thought because we got a nice house, go to nice schools, we got, like I'm taking care of the bills, I'm supporting you, and like I've checked the boxes, as you would say, I've checked the boxes, the good man boxes, so I'm good and I should be appreciated, and you should be okay with me doing the stuff that I'm doing because I paid the bills, and now I'm trying to get us a bigger house, and now we're in a bigger house, and we get to go to nicer schools. Our child is like all of that. I'm present as getting you out of jail. So I think for him, he thought, I'm good. What's the problem? I'm able to do that and do this. And so I think that was his mistake. The other thing I think that did for him was allowed him to do something that I counselor moment here that I see a lot of men do, which is we think that because our body is in the house, that means that we are present.
Yeah.
And the reality is his body was there, but his heart was not there. And the fact that his heart was not there was what Robin was missing. And because Robin missed it, she went and found something as somebody else to fulfill the place of her heart that he was not able to be present for. Now, we could talk about right or wrong about that.
You think it got that far of her feeling her heart with homeboy? You mean the dude with the fruit? I mean, with the food, right? The food cart homeboy.
I think that he was getting there. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I think that their encounter, their relationship showed her that it highlighted for her that she was absolutely missing something with Harper. I don't think she really ever crossed the line outside of like thinking about him. I don't because she didn't hide him from him. Do you remember the phone call when she mentioned his name and everything? It was like, he found the building, I went with the, so like he was aware of this friendship between them and the work that they do and all of that. I didn't see them. They didn't kiss. They weren't intimate. She made Google. She absolutely had thoughts, but I'm talking about the engagement between them was very, I see where it could have been. Had she had given homeboy just an inkling, it could have easily went over that line. But I'm just asking for what we saw. would you say like she cheated or like he was in her heart? That's why I was like, the way you said that made me
I
think
would say
that really well.
I wouldn't say she cheated, no, but
Okay.
I would say that there was definitely an emotional attachment that had developed and was developing.
Mhm.
Had now from in this particular instance, they used it as like she was trying to buy his restaurant,
His
but
friends were, he had found the place for her. Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
But had there been a different type of interaction, I think like more interactions, like it was going down. You saw where this was going,
Mhm.
which is why I was saying earlier. It would have been interesting to see that develop, that his character develop a little bit
Yeah.
more. But
Agreed. Mhm.
yeah, I wouldn't say she cheated, but
Okay.
I think again, I think the fact that that emotional need, that heart space was available.
True. Yep. Yep.
And she had felt like I had been reaching out to my husband for this for so long
Mhm.
that now, like, again, I'm not suggesting that this can't ever happen if a man or woman is doing,
Yeah.
trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
meet
Yeah.
that need. But in this instance, he was MIA.
He was absolutely a contributing
He was
factor
MIA.
to
Yeah,
that.
he was MIA.
Yeah. You said his heart wasn't in the house, and I completely agree. His ears weren't either. He missed some huge, like she verbalized flat out what she did not want, what she was feeling, what she like from when they got home before they left from the wedding on the vacation, the resort, like in episode 2, the beginning, I believe it was. She told him like, I gotta get up out of here. Like this, I'm not happy
We
here.
should stay. I want to stay here.
I
We
want
should go
to
here.
stay.
I
Yes.
want to go here. Yeah.
Like, and we could do it. Was sis was making plans. Like we could absolutely, you could write anywhere. Like she spent her entire vacation with homegirl off the beach. You know what I mean? And her people like that. Sis might as well have pulled up Abram and been put on the schedule. Like she wanted to be one with the people and loved it.
Right.
And he missed how happy she was there, how completely peaceful. Like he just skimmed right over that conversation. She went right on back into their life and played the role until now we got to move into this house away from the one place I told you among these 50 contiguous states that I feel comfortable. And if I'm going to be here, here's where I want to be. Like,
right.
And now
I don't think he, I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't think he missed it.
He missed it.
I don't think
you
he
think
missed
he
it. That's
cared.
what I don't think it fit into his plan. And I think that to understand the mind of the driven, if it don't fit in your plan, you can hear what somebody say and be like, that don't fit what I want to do. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
And I think he heard everything that woman said. I think he just didn't, again, it wasn't in what he wanted to do. He didn't see how it benefited him. And so it was like, nope.
That's a good point.
It's not the life that he wanted to build, the life that he thought that he needed to feel like this person he wanted to become.
Mm-hmm.
So living on this island, no.
Yeah, why would I want? There's no one here to impress on this island. Yeah. They don't know me on this island. Like I don't give a damn about my book on this island.
Yeah. So I think he heard everything she said. I just don't think that it fit into his plan, and because it didn't fit in his plan, he wasn't about it.
Mm-mm. And it just got worse from there.
And
with the house and everything, like the house conversation, that is where I got mad at him. I honestly, I think I talked good shit to my TV during that whole exchange, and I was mad at her for giving in. I was mad at him for not hearing it, for pushing it, for just flat out being like, "No, want about this house though." Like I was like, bro, she does not want this, like at all. You're never in this house. Why do you want to go move her into this house that she is so clearly stated she doesn't want? And then when she was like, okay, let's get the house, like I thought that is the most defeated. Yeah, okay, let's move into this house. Like, all right, bro, if you didn't see the shoulder shrug heard across the damn TV screen, I don't know what to like. All right, whatever.
Yep. Again, it had nothing to do with her. That's the sad part. Like it was all about, that was an ego-driven decision. That's all it was.
Yeah.
That's it. They said, She was 80-20. She was looking for that 80 from Non Harper, the woman in the chef. Yeah, I mean, she was very much so. Robin was very much so trying to, I call it supplement what she was not getting, what she wanted. What her heart was longing for, which wasn't a house, which wasn't another book, another bestseller. It wasn't more money. It was his presence and his support.
Yeah. Yeah. And then New
Been there,
Year's.
done that, but been there, done that.
Call him after she missed that. Oh my! Oh, and then the restaurant like that. There was which was another reason that blew me when. Sorry, y'all, because I knew I knew when we got to which is why I put them last on the agenda. But mind you, but you know, it is what it is. I did not understand all of the back and forth about how like the hate that she got over it all through because she decided to do the move and all of that. And on the surface, I understood it. But then I thought to myself, did we watch the same series? Like you saw them in the same frame with the child maybe 3 times. And even then he wasn't like listening. He wasn't engaging. He didn't know anything about it. Like I didn't understand. I did not understand how we got so off when it came to understanding how that relationship dissolved the way that it did. You know, it seemed like she never knew what she wanted. And, you know, why didn't she couldn't play her position? And it was, you know, they set for life. And I didn't get that.
I think I didn't see all of that. I'll be honest. I saw people upset that she moved so far, but I didn't see that part. So, but those to me sound like the responses of people who think that, I'm gonna say this nice way, they think that having money solves the issues.
Okay.
And so I think that people, when you think I don't have money, but if I have it, I'm going to be good. So I think that is what that sounds like. I think some of us get to the point where we realize that you want to have money. We're not saying you shouldn't, but that doesn't solve all of the problems. And I think that, again, for those of us who are more driven and think that we get to a point, I think some, not all, where you realize I need more than yes, I want money, but I need more than that from the person I'm with. I need somebody who's going to, again, care about my heart, who's going to see the things that drive me, and I'm not going to have to beg them to support me and all, the other things that you find out are just as important, and in some instances more important than money. Yeah. So I'm not surprised to hear people say that, because when you don't have money, you think money is the solution.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Their relationship was very interesting. And then do you throw Jordan in the mix to that too? Like I thought to myself, sis was dealt a bad hand from jump. Like the whole proposal, the way they got like that, the being submerged within that depth of a friend group with all of those relationships and loyalties, and she's always outside looking in a way.
But you know what it made me think, and it made me go back to the proposal and the idea that that was a proposal under duress.
Yep.
And so were they really, was he not somebody, I'm not suggesting that he didn't love her, but I think that you can't, I think it's very dangerous for anybody to enter into a marriage that way, because there's always this thing, like, like there's a level of I don't want to say it, like you only do things, just like what we saw. You only do things when the gun is to your head. If that's how you start, that's what's going to be the result of your entire relationship. And you almost have to hold the gun to the person's head for them to respond. Just like when we see, women feel like the only way he listens if I yell, or children. We do the same thing with kids. Like those relationships, if that's what happens at the beginning, that's going to happen unless you all make a hard change in the course of the relationship. And I think, to start off, to your point, under duress, like I'm going to lose her, so let me propose. Right. Let me do something big, was something that kept happening through the course of that relationship. And then now he ain't got no more big, like she's out of cares for big moves. And
She didn't really want him in the first place. Like she wasn't a fan of the big moves in the first place.
Exactly, that's not what she really wanted. Like all along, she wanted your heart.
What I gathered from them, and I know we got to move on to the other couples, but what I got and what I realized this during their argument at the house when after he missed the building, and she was expressing to him how much that hurt her and like how she wanted him to be there and all of that, and how he kind of disregarded that. You always, you've been doing this and we did this and we did that and we did this.
Yes,
so going back to your previous comment or your previous thoughts on her, I think Harper saw, I'm going to make enough money to provide her hobbies and to continue them. And as long as I can, she fits all the most. She's gonna have my babies. She's bad. She gonna show up for me. She is the homemaker. She's nurturing. She's the earthy chick. Like she presents as the total opposite of everything Hollywood until she's got to turn the shine on. And she's perfectly fine doing the background until she wasn't. He knew that she was this flighty chick and used that against her when she wanted to put some roots into something. As soon as because her buying that building means this, I got to be here now. Like I can't just pick up and go and be available and do all of this. I'm now, I'm obligated to something here. And that says so much to me about like their entire relationship. It was never really about her choosing and sticking with anything for him. It seems like he nurtured the fact that she hadn't chosen anything yet, because that allowed the flexibility of her to be able to, well, my thing's stable. Let's just go. I got it. It's giving us, because she said, I don't know where I fly by you and you've never even written a page yet. You don't even know what you're talking about. And I'm off to the races and you're off doing what you're doing, gone, and I have to sit here and hold it down while you go create this book. And I got something here. I know what this is doing. It's moving, and I can see it. It's tangible. And you couldn't call him. Like I was like, oh, to me, I read obviously so much into that, but I was like, he never took her seriously as far as like outside of what she did for him and that family and his picture.
Yep.
He did not see her dreams and what she wanted. As serious.
I felt like he saw her the same way he saw his daughter.
Say more.
Like that's I have to take care of you, not as someone who is a life partner. Like you are not my life partner. You're my daughter. So when it comes to career stuff, I have to manage you like I would manage a child.
Yes.
Because you don't know how to make grown-up decisions. When he said that, I heard you don't make good decisions, good grown-up decisions. So I have to manage you like a child. That's what I heard when I said, and I was like, oh. And then I thought to myself, how long has he been holding on to that? Because first of all, most men can't go back. How many times you didn't ask the man, give me an example? And he's like, I ain't got no example. We don't hold on the list like that. My man said, oh, well, you did Amway. You did he just read off a list of stuff that she had done and was like, I supported that. And when you want to do this, I support this. And when you want to do this, I was like, yeah, he has been holding
that one's been in the.
He's been holding that in and been angry with her about this for a long time. And just never said it. And now, because we never heard like the dollar amount, but because it was something that he didn't trust that she would follow through, he probably just was like, yeah, okay, you want to. All right. Anyway, we're gonna keep it moving because this ain't that's too much money. Or Like I just saw him managing her.
Because he said that was a lot of money, and she was like, but we got it. Like, because again, she's looking at this big house that she didn't ask for. That was how much money? And I needed this small building that was right in the neighborhood that I'm in all the time, the neighborhood that I love, that loves me, and I'm filled up in. Like you can gallivant all over the world, Craig. Just leave me and my baby right here in Harlem, and you won't hear nothing from me. She wouldn't have said nothing else. if he would have just left her alone in Harlem. That snowballed, and then everything from there became.
I think that was the straw right there.
Yeah, like everything she could have maybe held on. They could have raised the baby, and then, you know what I mean, something like that could have been a different level. But that on top of all of the other that was going on, and then you throw Jordan back in the, throw hot chick back in the midst of Just get somebody else to do it. I'm good. I'm good.
They said, and had Harper pause just a moment, like he did after the award show, and attended her campaign ceremony, it would have been corrected.
It could have been. I think it could have been. Yeah.
He'd been doing this so long at that point. Like I said, I think he had been doing it so long, and B, I think there was always this underlying anger with her, or not, maybe not anger, but I think it was resentment at previous things. I think there was never really, that's what it was. There was never really the kind of respect that you need for a partner. It was always, because even in the first one, if you remember in the very first one, she's talking about wanting to do something while they in there. He's like, but he's calling her flighty, like you're flighty, and you're, like, I think that just had carried on through their entire relation. Like, this is just how I feel. Like, I feel like you're flighty and you don't really stick to nothing. So, like,
I think he was okay with her being flighty. I think he was pissed that she had the nerve to want something more than something flighty. Like, how dare you be mad about me saying no to this when I've said yes to all these other things? Like, why is this the thing that you owe me about when I've allowed you to do all these other things?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this isn't why is this the thing that now you mad? Like, we've done all of this other stuff and this is what you do. So, like, pick a new thing. To him, it never mattered to her. To him, that much. He didn't really register the matter level of it to her. So he was like, just pick something else. You always picking something, pick something else. So it wasn't I don't think he was as frustrated that she hadn't picked anything yet. It was the matter that now this is the thing that you want to end us over because you couldn't pick this thing. I didn't say yes to this thing. Like, so that minimized it. And even in that, it was very antagonistic. Like, okay, bro. Okay. Like, now it's that your little business. He little business type.
Exactly. That's just disrespectful.
Building, I'll get you a little building. You can find another little building.
He might as well have said that. He said the question that brought me to pause was when she asked, "When is enough enough?" We dreamers are like kites. Kites fly, but you got to have the string reality to keep us grounded. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And that's why I said, but you have to respect it. You have to respect the person who does that, and that was not present. Like you said, I think he liked the fact that she was supportive, but never trusted her or respected her to be that person. He respected Jordan. I don't think he respected her. So, all right, we got to move on. It's 10:24. We got we could talk about them all night. Merchant Candace.
Love them. Love them. I think Merch and Candace were the beautiful balance of what healthy Black love should be. Even through, like, the ups and downs of you saw them struggle even through this series. But how, like, when he was struggling with not being the best man for Quentin, and how she comes in and she's like, hey, y'all, like, hey, this is a thing, okay?
He's not well.
Let's just avoid this. Be gentle with my man. You know what I mean? We're gonna try and get on up out of here. But when he took that too far and was starting to act out, and now you're creating the issue. You're doing too much, bruh. She had a way of pulling him in without further adding harm and causing additional mess to it. Yeah. I dug them a lot.
I thought there was a level of respect that you didn't see in other couples. Like, he respected her. You could definitely tell he respected her. I liked watching how the parts that I thought from a male perspective was watching him wrestle with, I am the primary person to handle these children, to take care of the children. So
Yeah.
watching him have to battle that, I thought was very good, because I think a lot of men struggle with that as well. Like, I'm the primary person now who got to take the kids and pick. Like, this is what's her job. Like, what?
Mhm.
And then having the role reversal of feeling like, because a lot of women who do that usually feel like, I miss these parts of these intimacy, not so much sexual, but intimacy, the adult interactions, the going out in the world and getting it. Like, I miss those things, but this is my role right now. So to see him then have to be in that role and wrestle with that, like, I still have this school, but I don't, I don't think he said
It's
this, but
not
I don't
feeling
feel very
like my school.
womanly. I don't feel like my school. I don't feel like I'm a husband. I feel like I'm the wife. Like, she's out doing work, doing homework, and doing, like, so to watch him do that was a very good dynamic for me to see, because I think, again, as men, that is something that I watch a lot of men, and I've struggled with that at some point in my life too. So.
Mm-hmm.
So I can identify.
Speaking of that, even when they had the argument the night of the paper and the thing with the professor and all of that, when he wanted to go fight and, he had his plans and she needed him to take the girls to the rehearsal, that exchange even brings what you just mentioned as far as that back and forth that he was going through back home, because he enjoyed the time that he spent with his daughters. He enjoyed, he was really good at it too. Like, he was a great dad and did, fell into that role very easily. And I think when he realized that not only was it easy for him, it was easy for other people to see him fully in that role. And it added to what self stuff he was already grappling with as far as manliness and alphalessness. So that clashing that they had there, where he still, like, he was dealing with that, but in the moment it's still, we got to do what we got to do. And she was even respectful. He tried to pop off he did pop off and was like in his feelings and tried to like check her, and she was like, okay, because I know you're going to regret that later, because that was like, you on some wild stuff right now. This was not, I understand, but this still needs to happen. Okay. And like, can we move on now? Okay. Love you. Bye. Yeah. Like, and we'll pick this up later where you got a different attitude, sir. But like, everybody goes right now. I thought it was good that happened like that, but also that we got to see it, because I think those moments when she ended up having to go chase him down and see him actually fighting, that made all of that come together. Like, why would he act so out of character for something that we do all the time? Like, she didn't really get it. Like, okay, that was weird. Babe's tripping, and probably would have never thought anything else about it. But to see that come full circle for them was a closeness. That was a bonder for them. I think, even through, it took a while, but it needed to.
Which is normal. No, but that can be very normal, which is, I think, why it was good to your point, to see that, because that is normal. Yeah. So speaking of which, watching when she's like, "Don't go, I need you here tonight," I was like, as I was watching, I was like, yeah, I'd have to.
Which one? Tell me now.
When he found out about what happened with the professor, and she played it. When he did that, I was like, yeah, when you go to bed, I'm going to whoop his.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't have been nothing that would have kept James in the house. Like, he wouldn't have wanted to hear nothing I said right then. Like, I wouldn't
either, but to hear her like, I'm like, okay. But that would have, like, how he responded, like, I don't want to use the word soft, but he was appropriate with her in that moment. That would have been hard for me, because though I'm seeing you and I'm feeling, the other part of me is like, I'm about to. Yeah. And
so I think it hit him because it was the first time he heard of it too. He hadn't gone through anything with her also. Yeah. So like, had she not told, you like, if I'm the only person you told this to, like, and she says, I need you right now, I think, like, he was supposed to be, he should have gotten soft for her in that moment, because now we have to deal with it. Like, this is the first time she's gotten care about this. So me caring for you, and you've been holding this trumps me go beating his. I'm gonna beat his ass, but I can pause for a minute so I can care for you, make sure you good, and then I'm gonna go beat his ass. Like,
And then
homie's gonna be
I'm about to
fine.
wear homeboy out.
Yeah.
It, yeah, that was. Whew, I was watching that, like I started sweating when that happened. I was like, yeah, nah, he got this. I gotta go holler at him real quick. Like,
all this fresh new testosterone and moves I got. I've been waiting.
About the real life.
Real time.
Yeah. So that wouldn't have
went over well for the average black man. That wouldn't have ended that way. Yeah.
No, but like I said, he handled it well. He was very right. I liked even watching the because this was normal too. How she wants to try all of these natural remedies to mental health, and he's like, this is working. Like, and so even like I'm like, yep, this is normal marriage. Like, this is what marriage is like. And so to have to work through that, as a couple is, again, is I've seen that hundreds of times. To have to figure out what are we gonna do, and I don't necessarily agree with what she's doing, but I'm gonna try it, and maybe it's gonna work. But I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I don't get
it. Buying it. This don't make no sense to me. Yeah. So it was really good to watch that. Because again, that is marriage. That's marriage. Yeah.
Love Merchant Candace.
Yeah.
Quentin and Shelby. Can we talk about Quentin and Shelby real quick? We got time to talk about it?
Yeah. We got time.
So they were honestly, I love Merchant and Candace for like the goals aspect of Merchant Candace, but Quentin and Shelby were my favorite couple, period. I have always been a fan of Quentin's character. I think he's dope as hell. He is the homie in the corner who's peeping it all, who's gonna hit you with the one-liner that's gonna have you thinking for the next 2 weeks. He's I love that dude, and I love the layers that they gave him with his father, with his daughter, with his health, and then how he loved on Shelby, how they loved on each other. We saw completely different people with them in this series. It was that we had seen them be childish, knew there was an attraction, knew that it was like, why are we playing? Like, y'all are too perfect. You talking about somebody, when women say you need a man that can handle me, that's what they mean. Quentin and Shelby are the perfect example of what women mean, or what is meant by somebody needs to be, because it was vice versa. If nobody could get Quentin together, it was homegirl. She could pull him right on in, whether it be she could pull him right on in, okay, and get him together, get him back where he was supposed to be, and everything, was copacetic, and vice versa. And then seeing how they grew with the baby and how they showed up, they became the glue for both circles. He what he did for his circle rubbed off on Shelby, and she was able to utilize her not being she was one of the day ones, but was not connected to all that other stuff. I didn't even know Shelby was in college with them until this series. Like, I didn't really get that. I thought like it was Merch's girlfriend that was just acting a fool and like hung around for a while until Candace showed up. Like, I didn't connect that they were all homegirls until that time. So she really showed up differently in that friend group and as a wife, mate, partner to Quentin. It was, I was like, oh, come on, writers. I was like, the character developed much. Yes.
Because, I mean, the reality is, if you think about it, she was key to everybody and all of that. I mean, she was key to Jordan, but in saving her career. She was key to Candace and helping Like, she was key. She was a very key person in those relationships, and that was something we didn't see, or we didn't see debate team. Shelby until
classic Shelby. Like, who is this chick? Studious Shelby. Like, okay,
mother, even as a mother, like to see that difference in her was good too. So there was a whole lot of depth to her character that we did not see before. Even how she dealt with the almost wife, like
Omarosa Ziamara. Omarosa Ziamara.
the Amara,
Yeah.
yeah, was even, there was a level of maturity there that you didn't expect at the end. It was.
She came, she fought a good fight, and she was like, "Okay, sis.
Yeah.
All right.
It.
But I'm gonna find you. Let me find out, and I'm gonna find you. Let me find out. It is me and you." And she was at the airport doing what she's supposed to. Okay. And he came to find her. I said, "Go. You better do what you know to do. You better do what you know to do." I was like,
yeah. So it was good. I thought. I also thought that I do wish that we would have got to see more development with the daughter.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that I would have loved to see more of, just because we saw some the basic stuff. He's trying to buy her affection and being soft and mild, like that. I wish I would have saw more than that. What I was very also impressed with Shelby was when dealing with his dad.
Yes. Oh man. Oh, I just
the scene when they're in the house, when they go to the house, and that was like
she was like, "Dad, let it." Like she softened for him. There was a love there where she saw both of them and could speak both of them to get them to stop this. Like, you know what I mean? Let's just figure this out and take care of it. You know what I mean? And she was very nurturing. We saw nurture from a person that we'd only seen selfish, and she was like fierce about her nurturing. Right. That's what I thought was really dope. Yeah, she didn't play around. Once you're in, you're in. Like her people are her people in a way that we didn't see before, because she was too busy doing the thing. But it just goes to show how you really, until they really let you in, you got some gem people, and I love the way that they showed up for her too. Like homegirl missed up PJ, to come hang out in the living room. I thought this was finna be like a party. Okay. When they were like moving stuff around and it was supposed to be, she was all stressed out and stuff. I thought there was going to be like 60 people at this, they was finna have a shindig. No, it's 12 people and some children. You know what I mean? Like, we getting black tie to hang out in the living room, but they all showed up for her because they know what these types of things are for her and what it means. And I'm gonna be at my girl's New Year's party. We bringing it in with my people. She had to tell him, "Girl, please, you better get your ass. I love you. Bye." Like, why are you
right now? Not today.
It wouldn't be me, baby. I'd be on the PJ. She would have canceled her own damn party if she would have got invited on the PJ to Shelby. We knew from the old party canceled. She would have sent out a text. You wouldn't even got a call from Shelby. Party's canceled. Don't show up at my house. Send. Like, I'm not gonna be there. So yeah, it was. I loved her character and their relationship so much. And then when he got sick and how hard she was on him, taking care, that was a problem for them. Her trying to keep his ass alive was gonna be the thing that caused it. Like, really? Just trying to keep you breathing, bro. Like, are you serious right now? That's a
real thing.
But yeah, which is also marriage. Like, how many wives have to fight their husbands to go to the doctor? They have to have heart attacks to get to the doctor. They have to, and it's a lot. It's a lot. So yeah, I really enjoyed watching. I could watch a show with the three of them, and the daughter too, because she was a cold piece of work. Baby girl was crazy. She was working him. Okay, and Shelby looking at him like, "Oh, baby, you ain't got a chance. That pocketbook ain't got a chance, Papa." Baby, stop buying her things.
And he just steady doing it.
Wrapped around his pinky toe. Like, it didn't even look like, her pinky toe got him just like, he trying to find one more spot to wrap around one more. Am I close enough? Am I tight enough, baby girl?
I understand. I don't even blame him, because I'd have been the same way. What you need?
He got catching up to do. You just told me, like, after our shotgun
My baby. It's
Do
not gonna
over
be good.
wedding. We gonna FaceTime her and say, "Hey, baby, I'm your daddy," and now I gotta make a. Yeah, I got it. I completely got it. Completely got it.
I'm like, this my baby. Look, I wouldn't care. I'd still get it everything she wants. That's what I said. That's why I think God didn't give me a daughter, because that was the baby.
And if you think Quentin was finna stop, you crazy. She knew it too. That's why she was like, "Oh, that's cute." And I'll tell her no. Like she's gonna hear no from me. She gonna get this no.
I wouldn't have made it. So I fell them.
Yeah.
All right, we got 10 minutes.
Okay. Did we get through? Who did we miss?
Lance and everybody and Jasmine and
Because Lance
Jordan.
was with everybody. Okay.
Lance said, hey,
Everybody can get it.
anywhere.
Anywhere. The pool. At the non-nudist beach. Like what? It's happening, bro. Like go get your naked homeboy from the side of the pool, please. Like
my man got off the airport. He got off the airplane like,
and they all knew. Harper was like, shit. He was so mad. Like the level of frustration that he had knowing that he was about to get on girl was just like hilarious to me. I was like, don't hate, bro. You ain't been around. You knew he was out here wilding. Like, do not be mad. Just exit the vehicle and get on up there to the resort.
He was like that in college. What you think he about to do now? Mia gone. He's about to wild out.
You did not just meet this dude. Did not just meet him. But I loved Jasmine. Loved her character.
Yeah.
And for him, I like that she challenged him. I like that she was soft. She was honest. She had the same love for God, and she was authentic about it.
I like that she maintained her boundaries well too, which
very well. Like this could write a book on boundaries, the way that she did that,
which doesn't normally happen, and which for him was what was necessary. And I think that's what we feel like that was really a part of what Mia did for him.
Yes.
That I think he realized was like, okay, come in. I know who you are, but let's get you some boundaries. I love you. This is as far as you're going, sir. Right. And to not have that, like, bro, just wild out. Which is again what
happens.
That's what we do.
Yeah. And she gave him grace. I think that she saw him, understood what was going on, understood the chips, because after they got a chance to talk, like after that run, she saw more than just this cocky, sex-driven American man football player who really don't play football because like that ain't the real football. Like that whole thing, I said, oh yeah. Like I was like, I'm gonna like her. Like she's sticking around. This isn't the first time we'll see her. The last time we'll see sis, and she was consistently the right kind of challenge, the right kind of check to him. And I think almost, I would venture to say, probably more so than Mia would have been, because Mia was very soft and very, to the point where if he pushes, she's going to go to I said it, I'm going to go. Okay. But we're still going to do what Lance says. I could see from just the little bit that we saw with Jasmine, she's in a different space where she's going to give the respect. She's going to understand. You're going to have the conversation, but it's not going to be so, okay. Yes. Yeah. Whereas Mia was, they painted her very differently in that.
Yeah. She's very docile.
Yes. Docile.
And the way she handled Lance was much more, okay, Lance, but she was a lot more soft and
it was very coddly, coddly. You could tell that was their way, since it had always been their way. It hadn't really evolved over time, which is, I think one of those, that's a whole nother conversation. We don't have enough time for me to go into that. But yeah, it was very reminiscent of Young, and it hadn't grown before she was taken, and they could really get into like the parenting part deep of their relationship, their life together.
Yep. All right, we got Jordan. You want to do with Jordan, or do we do enough for Jordan?
Yeah, I just wanted Ashwagandha Beta show back up, since we're talking about relationships. I think she was owed another chance with him.
Yes.
And again, hate hamster homie. I still cannot believe him. His face does this little thing, like it's just no.
not attractive.
No, I don't know who's doing this. Like, who's trying to force it? He's talented even, but like a love interest is not what we need to keep casting.
That's not him.
No. He's a very talented actor, but it's just hard for me to get to the acting part because he cannot act as though he's a love interest. He's not. That's the role.
Maybe we need an action movie or something. Maybe that's what we need.
He's just not remarkable. He does not have a thing that makes me go, ooh, like, about him. He's just, I need a good dramatic role that gives me a lot of depth and layers. That shows me something. And then maybe that'll cuten him up. You know how some folks be like, oh, okay. But I just currently, no. He ended up the side dude for Tasha that was like a punk and ended up being slumped up in the corner behind. Like, he was never going to be enough for Tasha. Like, Tasha would have slumped him up along the side of the wall. She would have knocked him between the dryer and the damn refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? So, like, no. And then you get him, you got money invested in the jails with Jordan and like.
Yeah.
And Ashwagandha, homie, like, no, like, no.
That's what you wanted to see back, huh?
Yeah, you spin the block for hamster on me? No, sir. No, sir. You'd already done that, and he hurt you. Like, you don't let that guy hurt you and then give him another chance. I don't care how many rooftop breakfasts you playing, bro.
That was all about money and career. That's all it was.
Money cannot unlame you.
I mean, that's true, but you know.
Same. Yeah, but I love Jordan.
It can't unlame you, but it surely can make you overlook some. For some, it can make them overlook the lameness. So,
it didn't help him.
No, not at the end. No.
Deuces.
Let's do kids.
Yes, I hate that we don't have much more time for this, but yeah, the kids were interesting. I noticed a dynamic between Murch and Candace's daughters. And Lance's son, Lance's son and
Quentin
and Shelby's. You could tell the difference in how they had been raised, what they had been exposed to, and how that showed up in even their friend group. They didn't have the same level of closeness that the four of them, the groups of them had in that New Year's conversation when the girls' anxiety was so high. And when they get together, there was a lot insinuated that we didn't really, that was the first time that was communicated that there was possibly a rift in the kids. It wasn't given, we're one big happy cousinish family, it wasn't, it wasn't. So that was interesting to me. Very much so. I loved the storyline that they gave Lance and it was needed. It was necessary.
LJ.
Thank you, LJ. It was necessary, and I honestly, as frustrated as I was watching it happen, I liked seeing it happen the way that it did. I liked the Lance's response and how he had to go through that. I loved LJ's friend. Did not back down after LJ got ghost on him. And he needed that. I was listening to another podcast where one of the podcasters kind of pushed back. Like, no, when my son is missing, you don't sit here and antagonize me. You just tell me where he is. No, the whole reason he's missing is because of this. This is why he decided he needed to move around. Now, you can have other conversations about why he should have known and, earlier and all that, but all of that, he knew what his daddy was going to do. There was a very real reason why he was the last to know what was going on. And if you want to find him and keep him, this is something that even if you don't get it on my porch, I need you to understand that this is very much connected to the why this is happening.
Wait, did he know? Because I thought he didn't know, and then he went to the pastor to see.
No, he knew. Remember, at the New Year's party, he walked in on him with the wig on and the lipstick, dancing with Quinton.
Yeah, no. I mean, the friend that was on the porch that he went to. So I thought the friend didn't know where LJ went.
He knew. He was holding out. He was holding out, acting like that because that's what he was supposed to do for his friend. And then when pushed by his parents and you seeing, okay, all right, let me go on and give up the goods. Okay. He said, all right, you might want to check out. Oh boy, but I don't believe for one
Yeah.
second
You don't
that
think
he
he
did
did
not
know?
know where he was at. Yeah, no.
I mean, I thought that he okay, but he didn't never. It never came out that he knew. It was
Not
never
directly. He gave
okay.
him you might want to check. This is where
We'll
we
try to
went
go out a
and
certain.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I agree with that. I think that I would have known. Yeah, I agree with the idea that I would have wanted to know that my son was okay,
Mhm.
that he's safe. Now, I mean, but I also understand not telling me. But like, if you know where he at, like I think something is wrong. To make sure, at least tell me he's safe.
Mhm.
And okay, but yeah, yeah,
I as a parent, I completely agree. I
yeah,
completely agree. I would
yeah,
wanted to know that, but knowing why he was gone, like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
Yeah.
kid, like he also needed that. As much as you needed to know that he's okay, you also needed to know how this contributed to you even feeling like he
Yeah.
might not be okay, because he's not okay. Like the fact
Yeah.
that he's missing is not the not okay that you think that we're really here
Yeah,
for.
not that
He was
not okay.
not
Yeah,
okay long before he got ghost. Like that's what you should have been
yeah,
trying to deal with, And so yeah, it pissed you off. It pissed him off a little bit, and it added what 30 minutes to the to the search.
yeah,
But knowing that he knew that he was okay, that was, in my opinion, probably more. That was
yeah.
more beneficial to their long-term relationship
If
than
he knew
him
that they
just saying
were,
go to the church.
if he knew that he was okay, then that, yeah. But if he didn't, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, as a parent, yeah. So anyway,
Because had he just told him he's at the church, he would have went barging in that church,
oh yeah,
showing out, doing the most,
absolutely,
and it would have been a terrible situation. He needed that grounding moment, and then to feel what he felt en route to that church of, whew, okay,
yeah,
is this really the thing? Like, we got some stuff to talk about. Like, it's gonna be a process, but I need to come at this differently
mm-hmm.
than what I'm doing, because he would
Mm-hmm.
have totally went guns blazing.
He'd win 8.
Yep, into that
He
church
would
acting
have.
a fool. Yeah.
He'd had the pat. So he'd had to try to restrain him or something because yeah, he'd have won. He won 8. That's for real. All right, Lance.
And so thankful for Jordan's character and that dynamic.
Yeah,
Lance needed Jordan and LJ needed Jordan. It was beautiful.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think overall, is my final thoughts. Overall, I liked the fact that we got to see a full range of culture. We got to see a full range of culture in the issues. We got a full range of culture the um, in the personalities, and we got a full range. Like we saw, we saw it all. From love to divorce to moving over, like we saw the full range of children and parents having good relationships to we saw all of it, and I thought I'm having to work through some tough relationships from parental adults parent relationships like those. We saw all of it, and financial issues, all of it. And so I appreciated something that was what I would consider healthy culture, a healthy cultural look into. It wasn't overly good that made us look overly good. It wasn't
Right. It was
overly bad.
relatable.
It just looked overly bad. Like it was
Yeah.
like this is a good example of what it looks like to be for a lot of people, not all, but for a lot of people, Black people in America. And so I thought that was good. I thought it was also hopeful. It wasn't Sex in the City, all but it was like this is really legit what life could be like. So I appreciate it.
I absolutely know why people want more of it. I don't want these to be the final chapters. I don't. I really don't. They've done a beautiful job with this franchise. They've been very responsible with what they've done with keeping it current, keeping it relatable for its audience. It has never wavered from who its audience was and the story that it wanted to tell to us about us. And I think I love that more than any one individual story or couple I love the thoughtfulness that has been consistent throughout this franchise. For while being very fantastical, and it gives us the element of entertainment, and come on now, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's but there was this one time when like, it's very, you could pull from something that sounds like something that or have been through, or you love someone who's been through something like that. And I love to see it. I love to see this group of actors working and making good work, making good art, and the people talking about it, the think pieces that I've seen, the character, breakdowns, and all of the things. Like, we still, with as much as we talk for 2 hours about nothing but this show, we still miss so much. How Murch was portrayed in the movie, you know what I mean? Like, and how that all works out. And, so there's so much that I'm more of this, more of these types of shows for us. I'm here for.
Keep going if y'all listening. Keep going.
Peacock, I pay my annual subscription. You won't even have to come monthly if you keep bringing me stuff like this. Keep it coming.
Yeah, between this one, Fresh Prince, we can keep them going.
Right. Like, I'm like, y'all been pretty consistent with the good blackness. With the good blackness. No expectation over here. I'm here for it.
Keep those coming. We will continue to watch Peacock.
Right. Who'd have thunk it? Like, who would have thought Peacock?
Who would have thought Peacock would be the one that would get it right?
We out here, though. Peacocking it up. We'll see y'all next week.
Did you see the one where somebody said after all of this, now they think, what was it? I bet Tyler Perry gonna buy beat. They try to make shows just like them and put them on BET. I said,
leave it alone.
Y'all leave Tyler Perry alone.
He's got some good things going. He just needs to keep those and leave the other good things alone.
Okay, leave Tyler Perry out of it. But now, good show. I love us. We always gotta get Tyler Perry at some point. Thanks, Dre. All right.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah. Good show. We'll be back next week. Same time. I don't know what we don't know what we're gonna talk about.
No, we'll probably be back to more of what we used to, but we'll see. Depends on how we're feeling.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all next week. Of course, make sure you share if you have not. If you have not liked us on SoundCloud, do that. And y'all share. We'll be back next week for another great show on the Scoop. We'll holler.